Imagine your body as a highly precise, continuously operating smart factory. It tirelessly processes energy bills 24 hours a day without stop. When you put food into your mouth, this incredible factory activates its processing mode. The internal manager immediately blows the starting whistle. Workers are directed to transport glucose, the primary energy raw material, into the warehouse for immediate storage and future utilization needs. But if you give the factory an empty window and stop sending in raw materials, it switches to a completely different, highly efficient operation. It begins digging out old inventory from the warehouse, even starting a recycling workshop to melt down and recast those damaged, aging components. This is the magical transformation that intermittent fasting triggers inside your body. It is a profound metabolic shift towards cellular cleanup. But there is a cruel reality. Most people trying intermittent fasting commit a fatal error in the very first week, causing the plan to collapse. They are not defeated by hunger, but tripped up by their own lack of understanding of how their body actually operates during these empty windows. Today, I will show you how those seemingly harmless little decisions are systematically destroying your metabolic switch and wasting your efforts. The biggest mistake, and the trap almost every beginner falls into, is making absolutely no preparation before starting their fasting journey. They abruptly switch from a typical 3 meals a day plus snacks routine directly into a strict 16-hour or even longer fasting window. It is like driving a car at 60 miles per hour and suddenly deciding to hit the highway and accelerate to 180 immediately. Both your vehicle and your nervous system would blare sharp warning alarms. Your body has been accustomed to rapid fuel deliveries for decades. Your cells are like spoiled children, having completely forgotten how to burn stored body fat for energy because glucose was always available. When you suddenly cut off the food supply, your blood sugar levels will plummet rapidly, creating a terrifying roller coaster effect internally. Your body has not yet learned how to quickly switch to fat-burning mode. At this moment, you will experience intense dizziness and irritability. You might feel a lack of focus, hand tremors, or palpitations. This is not a lack of willpower. It is a genuine physiological distress signal. Your brain consumes 20% of your total body energy every minute. It is a highly demanding organ that only accepts specific fuel types. It prefers glucose or ketones. However, switching from glucose to ketone utilization requires your liver to activate a new biochemical pathway. This complex metabolic transition usually takes 48 to 72 hours to truly establish itself and function smoothly without issues. If you do not give your body this crucial adaptation period, you are forcing someone who has not learned to swim straight into the deep water. So, what is the correct approach? You need to provide your body with a progressive training period, starting gently to build metabolic flexibility. Begin with a 12-hour fasting window. For example, finish dinner by 8 at night and eat breakfast at 8 the next morning. It is simple. Most people can easily pass this length of fasting window while sleeping. After persisting for a week, extend the window to 14 hours safely. Let your body slowly remember the skill of burning fat. It is like teaching a hybrid car to gradually switch from gas to electric drive mode. The second fatal mistake is eating like a starving wolf once the fasting window ends, especially consuming massive amounts of carbohydrates. I have seen too many people starve for 16 hours, only to devour 3 donuts and a large milk tea, comforting themselves with false logic. They say, well, I have already fasted. This approach is absolutely disastrous for your body and completely negates all the metabolic benefits. When you have fasted for over a dozen hours, your insulin levels have dropped to a very low valley. Your cellular sensitivity is greatly enhanced. This is inherently a good thing. But if you suddenly pour in a large amount of refined carbohydrates, your blood sugar will skyrocket instantly. Your pancreas will urgently release massive amounts of insulin to suppress this sudden blood sugar riot. leading to two severe metabolic consequences. First, under the strong suppression of insulin, your blood sugar will rapidly plummet from a high peak to a deep valley in a very short time. This roller coaster fluctuation will make you feel intense hunger and exhaustion, again within an hour or two, ruining your metabolic stability. Second, these repeated severe blood sugar fluctuations will gradually reduce your cellular insulin sensitivity, pushing you back to square one. This is exactly the problem you wanted to improve through fasting. Yet, you personally destroyed the progress with a poor choice of breaking foods. Stanford University researchers found that consuming high glycemic foods for the first meal causes massive blood sugar swings for the next day. The fluctuation amplitude is 40% higher than normal. Your body is like a calm lake. Dropping a boulder creates endless disruptive ripples. What is the correct way to break a fast? You need to use gentle foods to awaken your digestive system smoothly without causing a metabolic shock. Start by drinking a glass of warm water, then eat foods rich in healthy fats and high-quality proteins, like a handful of nuts or a boiled egg. A small piece of avocado is also excellent. These foods digest slowly, will not cause violent blood sugar spikes, and smoothly restart your engine. Wait 20 to 30 minutes until your digestive system is fully awake. Then eat a normal meal. Do not floor the gas pedal on a cold engine. The third widespread mistake is completely ignoring hydration and electrolyte replenishment during the fasting window, leading to severe issues. Many people think fasting means touching absolutely nothing, not even daring to drink extra water, resulting in a dangerous state of dehydration. During fasting, your body begins to break down stored glycogen. Each gram of glycogen binds to 3 or 4 grams of water when stored internally. When glycogen is consumed, significant amounts of water are released and excreted through urine, causing a rapid loss of essential body fluids. Simultaneously, the drop in insulin levels prompts your kidneys to excrete more sodium ions, compounding the fluid loss during the early stages. This dual effect causes you to lose massive amounts of water and electrolytes in the first few days of fasting. You must actively replenish them. If you do not, you will experience headaches, muscle cramps, palpitations, and extreme fatigue. These are not side effects of fasting itself at all. These are classic symptoms of dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. Your cells are like tiny water balloons needing precise moisture to function. When essential minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium are insufficient, your cells deflate like balloons and cannot operate normally. Research indicates that during fasting, you need to consume at least 2 to 3 liters of water daily, plus extra sodium, potassium, and magnesium. You can add a pinch of sea salt to your water or drink sugar-free electrolyte beverages. This will not break your fasted state or spike insulin. Because they contain 0 calories, they will not trigger an insulin response, but they will keep your cells in optimal working condition all day. Have you ever experienced severe headaches or fatigue while trying to fast? Understanding electrolytes is the key to preventing these discomforts. The fourth hidden but dangerous mistake is engaging in high-intensity exercise during the fasting period, thinking it accelerates fat burning. Many believe that running on an empty stomach or doing high-intensity interval training will melt fat faster. This logic sounds beautiful, but is flawed. In reality, you might be digging a hole for yourself. During fasting, especially in the first few weeks, your body is not fully adapted to fat fuel. If you perform high-intensity exercise now, your muscles demand massive, rapid energy. But your fat metabolism speed cannot keep up with this demand. Your body will activate an emergency protocol, breaking down your precious muscle tissue to obtain amino acids for immediate energy conversion. These amino acids are then converted into glucose in the liver. This process, called gluconeogenesis, is a survival mechanism for extreme famine. If you frequently trigger this mechanism, you will notice a decrease in muscle mass. Muscles are the largest metabolic furnaces in your entire body. Less muscle means a lower basal metabolic rate, making it easier to accumulate fat You intended to improve your physique, but ruined your metabolism. Even more dangerously, high-intensity exercise significantly elevates your cortisol levels. This is your body's primary stress hormone reacting. Fasting itself also slightly elevates cortisol. When these two factors combine, your cortisol might skyrocket to a highly detrimental level quickly. Chronically high cortisol disrupts your sleep quality, weakens your immune system, increases abdominal fat, and even affects thyroid function. The correct approach is to perform only low to moderate intensity exercises during the fasting window, such as brisk walking, yoga, or easy cycling. Schedule your high-intensity training within your eating window, preferably after consuming a nutritionally balanced meal to fuel your muscles. This ensures your muscles have ample fuel and your hormone levels are optimal, allowing you to truly benefit from the exercise without injury. The fifth mistake is completely ignoring your own lifestyle and social needs, blindly copying someone else's fasting schedule without adjustment. You might see a fitness blogger claiming that eating from noon to 8 at night works perfectly, so you rigidly adopt this exact same pattern. But the problem is that everyone's life rhythm, work, nature, sleep habits, and social arrangements are vastly different and highly individualized. If you start intense mental work at 7 in the morning, but your eating window does not open until noon, you will suffer from energy deficits. Your entire morning will be plagued by a lack of focus. Your brain will continuously send hunger signals, severely interfering with your thinking. Or perhaps you have a fixed family dinner every Friday night, but your fasting plan requires you to stop eating strictly by 6 in the evening. You must either break your fasting plan or damage your family relationships. This conflict brings immense psychological stress to your daily life. Stress itself elevates cortisol, destroying your metabolic health. Intermittent fasting is not a rigid dogma. It is a highly flexible health tool. You can entirely design a fasting window that fits your life. If you are an early riser, you might choose to eat from 6 in the morning to 2. If you are a night owl, you could eat from 1 in the afternoon to 9 at night. The key is finding a sustainable rhythm that avoids undue stress. Research from UCSF shows that those who customize fasting plans to their habits have an adherence rate 3 times higher than blind followers. Moreover, the health improvements they achieve are significantly more profound and long-lasting because consistency is the ultimate key to success. Your body is intelligent. It cares about regular fasting and feeding cycles, not specific clock times. Focus on the biological rhythm, not the clock. The sixth frequently ignored mistake is consuming seemingly harmless items during the fasting period that actually break your fasted metabolic state. The most typical culprits are coffee with cream and sugar, various fruit juices, and even certain beverages proudly marketed as 0 calories. Many people habitually drink a latte in the morning, thinking it is mostly coffee and should be fine. But a latte contains milk sugars and proteins. This is enough to trigger an insulin response and activate your digestive system. Your body instantly switches out of the beneficial fasting mode. All the metabolic advantages you accumulated previously return to 0 instantly. Some also drink fresh juice, mistakenly believing it is healthy. But fruit juice is essentially a concentrated sugar bomb. A glass of orange juice contains about 20 grams of fructose, hitting your liver hard. Its impact on your blood sugar and insulin is no different from eating several spoonfuls of white sugar directly. Whole fruit is good due to fiber. Fiber slows sugar absorption. But once juiced, the fiber is filtered out, leaving only liquid sugar. Even some artificial 0-calorie sweeteners fail. Although sugar-free, research shows they can still trigger an insulin response. Your tongue tastes sweetness and sends a signal to your brain quickly. The brain notifies the pancreas to prepare, and the pancreas releases some insulin. While the amount is small, it disrupts deep fasting processes. During the fasting window, you should only drink purified water, black coffee, plain tea, or water with sea salt to maintain metabolic stillness. These drinks contain 0 calories, will not trigger insulin, and allow your body to remain steadily in fasting mode for deep physiological repair. This allows profound processes like autophagy, fat breakdown, and mitochondrial repair to continue uninterrupted, maximizing your health benefits. Now, let us debunk a few of the most common myths about intermittent fasting. The first myth is that fasting slows down your metabolism permanently. This claim confuses short-term fasting with long-term starvation. When you consume extremely low calories for weeks, your body lowers its metabolic rate. That is true starvation mode. But intermittent fasting alternates fasting and feeding within a 24-hour cycle without massive calorie drops. Your total daily intake does not necessarily decrease significantly, only the time window is compressed. In fact, metabolism slightly increases initially. During the first 48 hours of fasting, your basal metabolic rate rises because your body secretes more norepinephrine to mobilize stored fat. This is an evolutionary survival mechanism. During food shortages, your ancestors needed more energy to hunt, not lie in a cave conserving power. The second myth is that fasting makes you lose muscle. This concern is particularly prevalent in fitness circles, but it is fundamentally misunderstood. Actually, as long as you consume enough protein and total calories during the eating window and maintain regular strength training, muscles thrive. Your muscles will not only be preserved but may grow better. Nobel Prize-winning research reveals that autophagy clears out damaged cellular proteins. This makes room for new protein synthesis. Fasting is one of the most effective ways to activate cellular autophagy. Deeply cleaning your muscle cells. Your muscle cells undergo a deep maintenance phase during fasting, then synthesize new tissue with higher efficiency when you eat and train later. It is like regularly clearing junk files from your computer so it runs faster. The third myth is that fasting ruins female hormones and causes chaos. This statement has some truth but is overly exaggerated. Extreme fasting or severe calorie restriction can indeed disrupt the female hormonal axis. But those studies focus on extreme diets of 500 calories a day or multi-day fasts, not the standard 16-8 intermittent fasting model. Numerous clinical studies on women show that mild intermittent fasting improves insulin sensitivity and lowers androgens without breaking hormone balance. This is especially beneficial for women with PCOS. The key is that women need to pay closer attention to their body signals and adjust accordingly. If fasting disrupts your cycle, degrades sleep, or causes mood swings, shorten the window or pause. Everyone's body is entirely unique and different. Intermittent fasting is not a universal cure-all. Certain groups must avoid it or consult a doctor. Pregnant or nursing mothers need constant nutrients. If you have diabetes, especially if using insulin or lowering medications, fasting can cause dangerous hypoglycemia. A doctor's guidance is mandatory. If you have a history of eating disorders, fasting might trigger unhealthy psychological patterns. Growing teenagers also need stable, ample nutrition. Another easily overlooked mistake is treating intermittent fasting as a license to indulge. People think after fasting, they can eat whatever they want. Free chicken, burgers, pizza. This completely violates the original intention of fasting. Fasting improves metabolism, but it is not a magical shield. It cannot offset the damage of junk food. If you stuff your eating window with trans fats and refined sugars, your cells will still suffer inflammation. Your blood vessels will still accumulate plaque. Fasting creates a better metabolic environment, but the quality of what you eat remains paramount. Prioritize nutrient-dense real foods, abundant vegetables, high-quality proteins, and healthy fats. Treat your eating window as a precious opportunity. Finally, lack of patience is a fatal error. Your body is a complex system needing time to adjust. Give it at least 3 months to see profound changes.